We are live once again. Welcome back, everybody, to 2023 Salt Lake City, Utah, door-to-door con. Eric
Keep going.
Oberembt.
Keep going.
Oberempt.
Nope.
Oberempt.
Nope.
Oberempt.
Oberembt.
Oberempt. Eric Oberembt.
It's the accent the way you can't say it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it is. That's okay.
It's
though.
my Pennsylvania accent.
Yeah, it's a Pennsylvania accent. Yeah,
Right
just
on.
stick with Eric.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Eric,
we're good with that. Yeah, Eric, go.
I can't almost want to say it every time I say it. That's why Eric Oberembt.
Did I tell you how, so growing up, my
Yes.
license plate that my grandpa got me, because my grandpa had a license plate his whole life that was Delt, right? His name was Delton. Everybody called him Delt, right?
Right.
And so he had a license plate, a personalized plate that said Delt. And so when I was 15 and I first truck when I was 15,
Mm-hmm.
a Christmas present, he got me my own personalized license plate.
Okay.
And it was Eric O.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody called me Eric O in school and whatever.
Yes.
And I went to college and I had this new group of friends that I met.
Mm-hmm.
And to them, because of my license plate, I was Eric O.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear I had this kid, his name was Chris something. We called him Dago.
Right.
And Dago came up to me and he was like, I had no idea that your last name was Oberembt. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck did you think my last name was? And he's like, oh, he goes, I thought you were like Chinese or something. And I'm like, you thought I was what? You thought I was Chinese and my last fucking name was O?
Right.
I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Right. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
but anyway, yeah.
That's
so
cool.
Eric O.
Right on.
Works, yeah.
So, Eric, when we were talking last night, I was thinking something to myself because I know doing things like this, and this is more on a serious note because I know we clown around a lot and drop the F-bomb and all that stuff. But on a serious note, right, like this shit costs money, right?
Yes.
Like I know, like no one's paying you to be here.
Correct.
Like why? Why?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. Why do you do this?
When we started doing this, I did it because I knew that I had something to say that I felt like people needed to hear because of what I had gone through in my life.
Yeah.
I knew that I had a story to tell, but I didn't know what that meant as far as like having a podcast, right? Or whatever, because at the end of the day, like everybody can do 1 or 2 episodes about their story.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But then what the fuck do you do after that?
Yes. Yes.
But once I started doing it and I started getting some feedback of impact that it was actually making in people's lives.
Yes.
Not like maybe on this grand scale that like you envision when you start something.
Of course.
You're like, I'm gonna have millions of fucking people, right? Like, but once you see the small impact that you have on people, it invigorates you to keep going because you know that everything that you put out that is, I hate the word inspirational, but if it's inspirational or if it connects with somebody on some level and it can change what they're doing or make them feel not alone in what they're going through.
Good point.
And it doesn't have to be alcoholism or whatever, right? It's like just feeling alone. Like I still have moments. I had the last 6 months, I've been going through this weird fucking thing where I felt completely alone.
Yeah.
Like still.
Yeah.
Right? Even with all these people around me, I can sit in a room of 1,000 people and feel like I'm the only person in that fucking room hiding in a corner, right?
Yeah.
And I know that there's other people that feel like that as well. And so I now feel like it's my duty to continue to share, even especially when I don't want to.
Right on.
Because it's when I don't want to that is when the real shit probably usually comes out.
Yes.
And people connect with that and they feel like they're not the only ones that are going through it.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep going. That's why I keep spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do this.
Yes.
Because I know that eventually, if you continue to do good things with good intention to help people, it'll eventually pay off.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
It'll eventually, or at least pay for itself.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all I really care about. Like, I've never done this to make money.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I'm not.
Yes.
But one day somebody's going to be like, I need to be a part of that. How can I help to make sure that you can continue to do it?
Get your message out there.
Right? Because it does cost money to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answered your question. But.
No. And that was a great answer because I knew that about you, but I wanted to hear you say it. And I know I wanted everyone else to hear you say that too, because this isn't cheap. And I guess, would you say that this is your purpose?
I would say that this is my passion.
Your passion?
I would say that this is my passion. I think my purpose in the last couple of years, I've identified my purpose. So I learned a lot from becoming friends with Sean Winkle.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And he and I have a similar conversation, right? That like it is my purpose. Everything that happened to me in my past happened for a reason.
Yeah.
And it wasn't to punish me. Right?
Yes.
Even though I deserve to be punished. Right?
Yes.
But everything that happened to me in my past, I have to believe that that the purpose behind it was so that I could impart that experience onto other people. And I feel like that, aside from my purpose being my family and my wife and my kid and all that, right? Like that goes without saying.
Exactly.
But I think that the reason that I am allowed, and I'm not a big religious guy, right? But I do believe that there is something bigger than me. And I believe that I was allowed to continue to live, continue to be around, have opportunities to be successful. And if I don't use that to help other people in some capacity, I'm not fulfilling what my purpose was supposed to be.
Amen.
And it took me a very long time, though, to figure that out. I thought it was just, well, don't fucking drink anymore and don't be a piece of shit.
Right.
But it's so much more than just don't be a piece of shit anymore. It's try to figure out how you can help other people see that they don't have to be that either. So I would say that is my purpose.
No, and I gotta agree with a lot of that too, because I feel like a lot of my purpose, obviously my family and coworkers and things like that are definitely a part of that purpose. But I feel like, and I don't even know if the word chosen is the right word to use, but I feel like
sounds very ego-y, doesn't it?
And by no means,
but I understand what you're saying.
Like I've been granted, right?
That's a good word.
Granted the opportunity to still be sitting here, and I don't want to take that for granted.
Correct. Very fucking easy to like you won the lottery, kind of, and you could kind of sit back. Right? Because we were just talking about this, I think, when we were interviewing somebody. It's like your purpose, whatever you want to call it, isn't to make a fuckload of money. Right? But if you don't figure out what the tools are that you need to be able to help people, you can't do it. It's not as easy to do it if you're fucking broke. Right. So we have to go out and bust our ass every day so that we can generate as much revenue as possible so that we can have the opportunity to help other people in whatever capacity that is. For me, with that's somebody else is trying to help kids fucking getting kidnapped in Nigeria, right? Like, I don't know what your thing is, right? But you can't do that with fucking toothpicks.
No.
Right? You need cash to be able to facilitate some of that stuff. So if your only purpose for collecting cash and things is so you feel better about yourself, you're a fucking asshole. Right? But real. If your purpose for putting all of that together is to be able to then facilitate something else, that's what makes you a good human being. Man. I think.
No, that's a great point too. It's like that, going back to being granted with the ability and the talent to what we do, roofing or siding, right? So we were granted that ability to be good at that, so we could be talented, so we could have that financial ability to be able to use that money in it for good. Because
here's what we're better at: connecting with people.
Right.
I'm not the best around, right? I think my company is, whatever, right? But I think that what our true talent is is connecting with people so that they want to be around us to be able to build that team. Because I don't know what the fuck you do on a day-to-day basis, but I bet it's pales in fucking comparison to what everybody else does around you. Am I wrong?
No, not
in that, no, right? Like, I know for a fact that what I do is strings to make sure that everybody is, you know what I mean? Like, that's all I do. But they're the ones doing the real hard fucking lifting.
For real. Yes. Thank goodness that we've gotten ourselves to that position in our careers because we are good facilitators. Right. I don't, and the word leader and leadership is becoming so fucking trendy that I hate to even say it anymore. So until I come up with a better word than leader, but I've been blessed with that capability of organizing shit. right? And getting people on the right page and convincing that this is a good idea and
putting them in the right seat.
Yeah, putting them in the right seat because, and this is the thing too, is humbling yourself enough to know, well, I'm not so good at that anyhow.
Right.
And I should be working on something else. Like, why am I developing the website?
Right.
I'm not that good at it.
No.
Can I figure it out? Of course I can figure it out.
It might take me 2 years.
Right. But I'm intelligent enough that I could YouTube or Google some shit and figure out how to make a website.
Because that's what we did our whole lives. We figured shit out.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
And so why should I? There's other things that are more important that we can be working on that we're good at and that we enjoy, that making everyone else's dream can fit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, what makes my heart more happy than anything, and I've talked about this quite a bit. It was like back in 2011, insurance laws changed where we had to go from 1099s to W-2s. Now, I could have did that and then had everybody get their own workers' comp policy, but we decided to go W-2s because then they had unemployment. And workers' comp. So then the seed was planted. I thought, well, how cool would it be for them to get health insurance?
Right.
Next goal, got health insurance. Then the next goal was how cool would it be to get everyone 401k plan? Right. Boom, done it. Right. Now I'm looking around, right? Like I'm looking at everybody and it's like people are buying homes.
Right.
People are buying cars.
Right.
They're having fucking babies.
Right.
Like we had 2 or 3 people in our office that are having babies.
Right.
And we have the health insurance to provide to them.
Right.
Like if that's not amazing, and like the mission, like that was like, at first I didn't know what my mission was or my goal was when I got into business.
Sure.
I just knew that wherever I came from, I didn't like it and I wanted to do better than that. Right. And then all of a sudden it was like my eyes started to open up and I had moments of clarity. Like I can actually have an impact on people's livelihoods. Right. Like their livelihoods, like they trust me to keep my shit together enough. So they want to have a family working for us. They have health insurance so they can have babies. They can afford to buy a home.
Right.
And homeowners insurance and have 2 cars in the driveway.
Right.
Like what?
Right. What we do a little bit differently is it's funny you said, like starting to offer 401k and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm very anti like traditional savings plans and like all that kind of shit. I think it's a made up fucking thing that financial advisors come up with to make their fucking commissions and like always drives me fucking crazy. And like I refuse to invest in them and whatever. So when people ask me to come on board, like, do you have a 401k offering? I'm like, absolutely not, because it's a goddamn trap and you don't actually make anything off of it and it's fucking garbage. However, what we do instead is I give them access to a real financial advisor that has their best interests in heart to be able to help them set up a real plan to understand what a Roth IRA is, right? Understand what different tax saving benefits that they can have if they do this, and this, or if they're interested in learning about how to buy real estate. Right. I sit down with them and teach them like, hey, if you can accumulate, let's say $50,000 over the next couple of years by saving, right, and just putting it in a fucking savings account or whatever, I will help you buy your first rental property or whatever, right? So you can start building some like real generational wealth thing.
Dude, I love
instead of like throwing fucking $5,000 a year into a 401k that isn't going to fucking pay off.
That's next level shit.
You know what I mean?
Now I feel like I'm shortchanging people.
That wasn't my point, but
I hope nobody's watching, right? Don't give any ideas over there, Vic.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, give them that independent, like education where they can, because they see me doing that, right? Like they see me buying properties, and they're like, well, fuck, he's got a couple Airbnbs in Arizona, and like he's got all this money. I'm like, no, like I don't. I saved a little bit, and I said that's an investment that I'm going to make, right? And I would love to teach you how to do that, because if I do that, the hope is that you're never going to want to go anywhere else, because who's going to give you that kind of support to be able to grow your family and your, you know what I mean, just everything, right?
And that safety.
So I don't know. It's just a different way of going about
safety yesterday a little bit in your breakout session, man, and that's beautiful stuff there too. So that we went through our purpose and our cause and what we've been granted, the time that we're here, and we don't want to take that for granted or take advantage of that or ignore that, right? And I honestly feel like I'm one of, and again, I'm no Bible bumper, but I feel like today I've been granted that opportunity to be one of God's soldiers to spread the message of what has been so freely given to me. Right? Like, who am I to hold on to this stuff? And whether it be monetarily or whether it be my knowledge or experience, but let's go back to that feeling of loneliness. Okay. So what have you done to overcome that? Like, what can you share with somebody that might be experiencing that loneliness right now?
Man, it's so hard because when you're in the depths of that, like when you're really in that moment of feeling that, you feel trapped. You feel trapped and you feel so alone that the answer to that question is not what you want to hear. Because the answer to that question is you have to go do something uncomfortable, which is go talk to someone. And it's the last fucking thing you want to do when you're feeling alone, right? Because here's what you want to happen when you're feeling alone. You want someone to come talk to you. You want them to notice that you're not feeling real good. You're kind of down, right? Like that's the expectation that we have as humans is like, if I storm out of the room, who's going to chase me? Right?
You're right.
Fucking nobody. Right. Like nobody has the obligation to go chase you to see how you're doing. Right. It's your responsibility to hopefully be able to at least be self-aware enough to identify the fact that you're in this state and say, the only way out of this is human connection, because that's what I'm craving is this human connection. Who is one person that I know that will be there to answer the phone if I call or if I go knock on their door? And you have to get super fucking uncomfortable and you have to go make that first step, because there is a chance that no one else is going to do it for you. And if no one else does it for you, you might end up dead.
It happens.
Right. So you have to have the self-awareness. And again, I know this is not the answer that people want to hear. But unfortunately, you can only control what you're going to do. You can't control what somebody else is going to do. If you go get in a fight with your old lady, right? You get in some big blow up fucking fight with your old lady, and you're like, well, hope that bitch comes and apologizes. Good fucking luck.
That's not going to happen.
Right? It might.
It could.
Right? It might. But if you're waiting for that, nothing is ever going to get done. It's on you to start the conversation to be able to try and start fixing things. So if you're the one that needs fixing, it's on you to take the time to have the responsibility to say, I need to go talk to somebody. Maybe that's Ty. Maybe that's my husband. Maybe that's my wife. Maybe that's my best friend. Maybe it's the best friend I haven't even talked to in 2 years, but I know that they're always there for me and always have been, and they'll answer the phone if I call.
Right on.
Right? And then maybe that human connection will pull you out of that funk where you feel alone. That was what I had to do. And I had to kind of start getting out of my own comfort zone and start
reaching out,
being okay, being a little bit vulnerable. And telling somebody, like, I kind of feel like shit right now. I'm not asking you to fix it. I just kind of wanted to talk to somebody. Right. And you eventually start working your way out.
And how hard is that for someone like you or I to do that, to open up to someone and be vulnerable, right? Because we're the guys that has to fix everything. We're the guys that has to shoot.
We're the ones that are supposed to have all the answers.
Right. And how hard and difficult is that? Not to distract the conversation someplace else, but I had and I don't even want to really bring this up, but I had a moment last night and this morning too, where it's like, I started to feel that weight, father, grandfather, entrepreneur, all of these things. And it's like, if I decided to say, I'm done. I'm done, guys.
How many lives would that affect?
Seriously, I was having that moment because I felt like I let myself
I have
down.
those moments fucking
because
all the time,
I'm going through this thing right now. I was doing the Fearless 44. I actually had to start it over today because yesterday was supposed to be my last day of smoking cigarettes. Well, I fucking blew it. I fucking blew it. So I had a decision to make. Do I spend the next 22 days on Fearless 44 acting like I'm not smoking cigs? Or do I come clean? You know what I mean? Here, Mr. Ty fucking almighty backer who nobody holds accountable but himself. Because I don't know if it's because no one's got the balls to come to me. But you want to know what's fucked up? Chris Hofstra rang me up on my shit last night and said, your fucking process is bullshit. And it hurt my feelings.
Your process?
My process of quitting smoking.
Yeah,
he said it was fucking bullshit.
Okay. And was he wrong?
No.
Okay.
Not necessarily. Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Dude, at least I had a process. Now I need to tweak it.
Now you need to adjust it.
Past experiences, I wouldn't have a process. This is the day, and I'm just going to quit.
Yep.
Because the goals aren't what we fail; it's the process.
Yep.
If you even have a process,
right,
you don't fail that goal. It's what you did to meet that goal is where you fucked up.
Yep.
You didn't fuck the goal up. You know what I mean? I didn't fuck the goal up.
Right.
Now I know my process has to be a little bit different.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So I poor fucking Ty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can blame it on our shit didn't show up. We didn't get the fucking Wi-Fi we were supposed to. We're supposed to be sponsoring the VIP lounge, and I don't see one goddamn thing over there has our name on it.
Right.
And it's like boo-hoo.
Right.
You know what I mean? So all these things change, and I'm excuses.
Right.
I'm coming up with these excuses on why I need to smoke another cigarette today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, granted, again, I've done good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I need to stop being so hard on myself. But like, who am I going to talk to? Now, fortunately, Vic.
Yeah.
I talked to Vic, but Vic's my best friend. He's going to co-sign my shit. Like, dude, don't beat yourself up. But Chris Hofstra, dude, he rang me up, and I swear to God, I wanted to punch him right in the fucking face. I did.
I wish I could have been there for
that.
Dude,
I was pissed. It was right after dinner.
Was it right after dinner?
Yeah, because I need my after dinner smoke.
Yeah.
And he was so nonchalant. He starts out like, I was going to place a bet with you. But you know what? Your process is bullshit.
So he knew he was going to win.
Yeah. Now this morning he felt bad, and he's like, "Look, I apologize. I apologize, but I don't apologize."
Right.
He says, "I don't apologize because I love you."
Right.
He says, "But I do apologize by being a dick."
Right. Right.
You know,
but to your point in the beginning of what you asked and what you said is it's really hard being at the position that we're in, right? And anybody listening that like is in the position of owner, boss, CEO, leader, family leader, whatever it is, right?
Right.
Because when we have those moments of weakness, or what we feel and what we perceive as weakness, right?
Yeah.
If we share that with the group as a whole, sometimes we feel like we're going to lose their trust.
Yes.
We're going to, right? Because they're going to be like, holy fuck, if Ty's freaking out, I really need to freak out. Right?
Yes.
Like, because he never freaks out.
Yeah.
Because we're holding it all in, and we go cry in a fucking corner because we don't have anybody else to talk to.
And that would be Jana.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, I don't even like to, I won't even have those conversations. I will, but I won't, like even with my wife, because I don't want her to start freaking out. Me too. I am.
And over the years, I've gotten better or worse about that. And then I end up having major fucking meltdowns.
Correct.
Because I'm a stuffer.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that for anybody watching this, but honestly, just for you and I selfishly, I think that we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't lean on each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we met. Right.
Sure.
Whenever that at that conference, fuck you.
Yes.
But at that conference that we were at, like there's a reason that we met there. And so it was so that down the road, we would have the ability, because you have no reason to judge me and what I'm going through, right? Or to worry, you know what I mean? Like worry about what's happening. Your only concern is like, God, man, I get it.
Yes.
Right. So that we can relate and have a conversation, and we don't have to be worrying about having the people that are dependent upon us worry about it. Right.
Yes.
I personally am calling myself out that I need to do a better job at that. But then the last part of that is we have to be able to feel safe, that we trust that other person, that they're not going to use that against us down the road, especially being in the same industry.
Yes. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no reason why anybody should.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah.
Right. It's always there.
Yes.
That somebody's going to hold something against you. The first time you go to an AA meeting, you see another roofer in the room.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, motherfucker, this guy knows.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh wait, he's here too.
That's right. Yeah. Right. But let's go back to, it's my responsibility to pick the phone up and call you.
Correct.
Right.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Yes.
It's about owning your own shit.
Yeah.
Right. And being self-aware enough to catch it when it's happening.
Yes.
So that it doesn't progress over 6 months.
Yes.
Until then you catch it.
That was going to be my next question for you. So like, what do you think the series of events were that happened up to that 6 months? that you started to feel like that? Was there something you were slacking off on? Was there changes in your life? Like, I know you recently moved. Do you think that played some part in it?
Yeah, that played some part in it because I lost my identity. When I moved, I had lived in the same area my whole life, and I was the guy. If anybody needed anything, Eric knew a guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I was connected to every little facet of that community. Right.
Yeah.
If you needed like small, you know, like, but you need a plumber, who do you fucking call? I don't know. Call Eric. He fucking knows everybody. Right. Like, whatever it was that you needed, you called Eric because
everything was familiar. You had your convenience store that you went to, the route you took to
everything.
work.
And so we moved. But one of the reasons that I wanted to move, though, was I wanted to feel like I was kind of reinventing too, because I was like, I'm not going to get many more opportunities in my life to be able to do that. I'm 43 years old, right? Like, you don't reinvent yourself at 70,
no,
right? Or get new opportunities when you're 70 years old, right? Like, you need to strike when the opportunity presents itself. And so I was excited about that, but I lost that identity, and I honest to God, like, for a little bit of that time, I didn't know who I was. I really didn't. I was living in these different worlds of like, this company, this nonprofit, this podcast, this What am I focusing my time on? What's the most important? What's bringing revenue so I can make sure I'm providing for my family? You know what I mean? I went through all of that, and then just some weird experiences with friends that kind of, in my mind, let me down. You know what I mean? And I had to figure out how to process that and what my role was in that as well, and everything else. And so I'm starting to come out of it now, but it took me a hot second,
no doubt,
you know, to figure it out. So I still haven't figured it out, but working through it, you know, and I think we all go through that.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I asked, because I would have never known that.
Right. I'm good keeping that shit to myself.
and this is the thing too. We put ourselves under the spotlight, right? We have to sit here and act like everything's okay. And what's fucking crazy, this is all self-induced fucking pain or abuse that we put ourselves under. And that thing, like this morning, I'm like, I have to walk in this fucking building right now and act like everything is okay, and I'm dying inside right now because I got a choice to make. Am I going to live a lie for the next 22 days, or do I come clean and start over?
I don't think there was ever any real question in your mind what you were going to do.
No, right. You
can sit here and say that you struggled with the decision, but I know that you as a person never did. Yeah. You always knew that you were going to call yourself out on it. You know what I mean? Yes. That you were going to fucking own it. Yeah. It was more of a struggle of, fuck, I don't want to do this.
Yes. That's totally like, when am I going to wait till tonight to go live and let everyone know I fucking dropped the ball?
Is that when we did it just now?
No, I did it this morning.
Fuck. It would have been more cool if it would have been
It would have. It would have been. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything. And when we go live today, I'm going to get it out and drop it, and I'm going to act like nothing happened for the rest of the day. But, but I'm glad you came over here. I knew we could have a real conversation, like a real fucking conversation, not some bullshit fake. Right. Put a fake smile on kind of conversation here. I knew we could have a real, good. We always have a great conversation, man. Okay, so before we get off this, and I know you're not like a salesperson per se, because of the testosterone and estrogen and the excitement and adrenaline that's in the room right now, but I've been asking everybody this question before they get off. When is the sale completed? Does it make sense? Like, so if I'm a salesperson and I'm knocking the door and I'm trying to make a sale, when is the sale over?
Good question. The sale is over. The sale's never over. The sale's never over, because even after you pick up that check and you walk the yard and you do whatever, you should still be doing what you need to do to continue to make that client a raving fan, so that down the road, it's still a sale. So the sale is never over. There's no completion to the sale.
Fucking A. Yeah.
Has that been the answer?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what everybody else has been saying?
No.
Okay.
No. A couple people did, and a lot of people were like, and it
took me a second to get there, but
because you got to think it through, because you've been in business long enough to know that it's about those relationships, that compounding relationships, the referrals.
I think that, it's a really great question, because I think that if there's 3,000 people here and 2,000 of them are sales guys, I bet 1,900 of them think that the sale is done when they sign the contract.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it's absolutely not. And you're missing out on so much more.
Yes.
Not only in life, but in business.
Yes.
To gain more business.
Yes.
If you change that mentality. And like that is a mindset shift that like that's probably very hard for people, because a lot of these people, especially like the solar guys, they're fucking wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Get the fuck
on
out.
To the next sale.
Right? Yeah. And they're like, I'm never gonna see this prick again.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I'll be honest, I think y'all got about 2 to 3 years left in this solar fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I'll fucking say it live on camera.
Before everyone finds out.
Yep. It's why I won't sell it.
Yeah.
Because, and I even talked to Matt, my new sales director in Texas, about it. I'm like, it's big down here, man. I'm like, do you want to add it? And, you know, whatever. And again, this is not, I know that you guys sell solar, so I apologize.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I think that what's going to happen is that in 3 to 5 years, when some shit gets found out and people are having a hard time selling their homes, and they're having a hard time doing certain things because of these big fucking contraptions and whatever that they have on their home. And they're not able to pay off the loan, right? Or they can't get it paid off because they don't have enough equity in their house, and then they can't sell it for the number they want because it's not increasing the value of their home, like they're led to believe, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Then what's going to happen is that Eric would then get cursed in that moment, and I would never have an opportunity for another sale again, because I would have, maybe it was 3 years later, but I would have left this bad taste in somebody's mouth. Yeah. And I think that right now, I think that the opportunity to jump in and jump out for sales guys is so large that it's hard to pass up that opportunity. But in my mind, I feel like I think the game's got 2 to 3 years left, and it's going to fucking take a dump. I don't know how. Yeah. You ever just get that gut fucking feeling? Yeah. I've got this gut fucking feeling that it's going to take a shit, and I don't want to be left holding that bag of shit and not know what to do with it. Yeah. Right? Makes total sense. Sorry, I know y'all do solar, but like I just, that's my fucking gut feeling. No, and that's perfectly honest, and it's perfectly okay to have that. And it's different too, probably in your region too, right? Because there's these other states that they're doing it in where they're selling it as this fucking like you're saving so much money. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're not necessarily. Yeah. But when you're in these different retail markets like y'all are, I think you're forced to be more honest with the client. And so if you're being more honest on the upfront of it, it takes away the fear of having to have that conversation with yourself a couple years later. Yeah. Does that make sense? Makes total sense. I'm guessing that in your region, you're probably just predisposed to be able to have that more honest conversation. For where in the Californias and the fucking Arizonas and even the Texases, it's a little bit different conversation. And they're a little fucking slimier. Yeah. Makes sense. Maybe I could be so fucking wrong on this. No. I could absolutely be so wrong. But I don't think I am. Yeah. No. And I'll be honest with you, when we get a call, it's because people want solar. Right. Like, so we're not knocking doors. Right. And trying to manipulate them into thinking it's a great idea. And that's totally different. And in most people, it's because they're worried about the carbon footprint that they're going to leave behind. Got it. They're hippies. Yeah. Not even because of they're thinking that they're going to save money. Right. You know what I mean? That's a totally different client. Yeah. Totally different client. Yeah. And then you're set up to succeed in that route, right? And we don't sell as much solar as those guys do. We don't because we're not peddling it. Right. Yeah. You guys don't install, right? Or we do. Yeah. Oh, you do. Yeah. So you sell and install. You don't kick it. No. Okay. All right. No. So we're doing the shingles right now through GAF. Okay. The solar. Shingles. So you're not like setting the big fucking. No. Okay. No. Well, that's cool. That's a totally different game. Yeah. It is. That's a different. It's kind of like our upgrade too. Sometimes we'll go in and say, we'll say, hey, this is what we got. You know, and nah, I'm just really not interested in $120,000 roof. I'd rather spend $12,000 on my re-roof. Get it? Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I'm gonna get so much hate mail for that fucking pitch, but that's okay. That's all good. I'm good with it. Cool. Well, thank you so much for taking your time. I know you're busy as shit. And keep doing it, man. I mean, and again, going back to, I know this shit ain't free. Yeah. Your message is out there. It's getting out there, man. It's compounding. Stay consistent, man. And let's keep doing it together and keep being the beacon of light. You got it. Love you, brother. Thank you. Love you too. Yep. And we're off. Yep. Is that it?